Perhaps you have recognized an inner saboteur in your life that does things to you like she does to me. So I think of my inner saboteur as someone where like, I'm just like chilling and coasting, and then I'm like rising up and like everything's fantastic. And let's say I'm like with someone and things are sexy and fun and awesome. And you're just like, could this get any better? And my inner saboteur is like, fuck no. And she takes the bottom of the whole situation. And she's like, oh, there is a rug here, a floor holding the goodness of this situation up, and I'm just gonna rip it out. And me and the person I'm with go, bah! And so that looks like starting a fight, talking about something negative that no one needed to discuss. And so as I've studied this inner saboteur very carefully over the course of my life, because she used to rule my fucking life, and now she just messes with it on occasion. So why does this inner saboteur kick in? Who is she? What is her agenda? Well, she's actually trying to protect me. Why? Well, it's usually one of two things I've discovered. The first is that I associate goodness and beauty and fun with the end of goodness and beauty and fun. Thanks, childhood. So I'm actually scared of things being amazing because I'm terrified of having them taken away from me. And so one part of working with the saboteur is starting to believe that things can get better and better forever and ever. A quote from one of my besties, Andrew Horn, who I love so much. So part of addressing the inner saboteur is starting to learn that as an adult, I can not only stabilize goodness, stabilize erotic connections, stabilize beauty, stabilize finances, stabilize an expansive business, but because it's not my childhood anymore, because I am who I am, that I can actually continue to grow those things. So to make that kind of massive shift, I will be teaching you 3 of my most powerful tools to actually transform the inner saboteur to be a support so that you can continue to expand. And the second thing behind the inner saboteur is when I simply don't feel worthy of the goodness and beauty and magic that is in front of me. So how many of us have ever made an amazing amount of money, like started a brand new friendship, or had someone like us that we felt unworthy of? If we're so uncomfortable with the experience of feeling unworthy or not good enough, our inner saboteur will kick in to save us from those truly uncomfortable feelings. So what do you do to address that? Well, as I will share with you so many times in our work together, the key is to learn to feel the unfelt things. So if I am willing to feel my unworthiness, if I am willing to feel where I don't feel good enough in a situation, I can actually address those feelings so the inner saboteur doesn't have to come and save me from the stuff that I don't want to feel. If I'm like, I'm courageous enough to feel this, then I will. And I actually feel this sometimes. Like there have been, since I've been single, like let's say at a party, right? Someone comes up and talks to me and he's like, and I shouldn't do this to myself, but I do. Like a living god of a human, right? Like on all the levels, like literally like celebrity stat, like so powerful, so handsome and everything. And like comes up and appears to like someone and I'm like, and I will feel actually inside of me the rising unworthiness, right? I will feel the like, am I good enough for this situation? And what I'll literally do is handle those feelings so that they don't control me. It's not about not having them. It's learning about being in relationship to them so they no longer control me. So if you want 5 powerful practices that you can do today that are going to help you up level in your worthiness and how much your nervous system can hold and contain and even grow pleasure in your life, so your self-saboteur doesn't have to sweep in and fuck everything up, then I have included my self-care package down below. You can get it in the description box. It's totally free. And I've included 5 transformative practices that will help you put this into practice practice so you can create lasting transformation in your nervous system. Also, remember to subscribe to the YouTube channel down below so that you can experience epic sex, legendary love, and never miss a single episode. So the first practice is celebrations. So the more that you celebrate yourself, the more you subtly train your nervous system not to focus on the negative, but to literally feel the positive and to celebrate the positive of what is happening around you. So research from Stanford University and BJ Fogg has shown that celebrating yourself is one of the most powerful ways to implement a new habit. So if you have a habit of, let's say, sabotaging a beautiful relationship that's just getting started, the more that you celebrate yourself and that nascent relationship, the less likely you are to engage in the habit of sabotaging. And the more likely you are to train your nervous system to not only focus on what's good and beautiful, but start to normalize things feeling good and beautiful rather than needing them to suddenly turn negative, swampy, and dumpster fiery. So in this practice, I encourage you, when you wake up, first thing when you wake up, to do 5 celebrations. Now, if you know there's something that you regularly sabotage, then make those celebrations about the thing that you have a tendency to sabotage so that you can train yourself to not only focus on the positive, but to start to maintain the positive through celebrating it. Number 2 is have a regular pleasure practice. So this is something I'm going to encourage you to do all the time because it has so many benefits. It's like going to the gym for your sexuality. And so what this looks like is taking anywhere from literally a minute to an hour, to sometimes like an hour and a half, depending on, state you're in, things like that. What a pleasure practice is taking that time to put your body into pleasure. It can be as simple as stroking your own skin. It can be as fierce and wild as having a crystal dildo up your pussy and having a wild cervical orgasm. Pleasure practices are really about a focus on pleasuring yourself without the goal of climax or orgasm like you might normally have, but really slowing down and taking the time to explore and work with your body, getting curious. Now, what does this do for the saboteur? Well, when you have a regular pleasure practice, you are training your nervous system that feeling good is safe. A lot of us got the messaging that feeling good is unsafe, pleasure is unsafe, feeling better and better forever and ever is not possible. So when you self-pleasure, when you take the time to be in a pleasure practice, you are saying to your body and nervous system over and over again, it is safe to feel pleasure. The more you put yourself into states, such as a state of pleasure, the stronger those neural pathways become, and you actually start to form deep neural networks of pleasure in your brain. That means the next time that something's feeling pleasurable, instead of your brain being like, who dis? I haven't seen that in my life. This is scary. Your brain's like, because you took that time to touch your own pussy in really pleasurable ways, I am now familiar with sustaining a life full of pleasure. Please go ahead. Number 3 is visualizing yourself having what you want that you usually sabotage while you are masturbating or in a pleasure practice. Why is this so powerful? Because usually when we are self-sabotaging, our nervous system has encoded that the thing that we want is scary or dangerous. And so usually what happens, let's say we're in a nascent relationship and the person's like being clear, choosing us, showing up with integrity, everything's amazing. Well, if your nervous system is trained to believe that love or sex or partnership has dangerous, scary consequences because as a child, maybe deep connection actually ended in feelings of abandonment or stress or anger or rupture, then what happens is the thing that you want starts having these big red flashing danger lights inside of your nervous system. So when you associate the thing that you most deeply want with pleasure, those red flashing lights slow down and even start to turn off. And your nervous system can get rewired from saying, oh my gosh, this healthy, beautiful, connected relationship is super terrifying, must end immediately, to, oh wow, this healthy, beautiful, wonderful relationship is actually something pleasurable that I can survive. When you masturbate to what you want, you're literally mapping pleasure, feelings of goodness, feelings of energy onto the thing that you desire. What do most of us masturbate to? Usually stuff that we don't actually want to happen. So you can use your masturbation as a force for good in your life by being conscientious about what it is that you are wiring into your system when you're in these peak states of pleasure. Okay, if you are really interested in taking all of this into your life, making it more real, then consider clicking on that link down below and getting the self-care package. It will have guided practices just like what I've shared with you, so you can start incorporating this into your life. Go ahead and subscribe to the YouTube channel, and please enjoy. I mean, really, truly, there's no shame in having a self-saboteur. It's more about getting to know it, creating familiarity, getting into the flow of understanding why you do what you do to protect yourself, and starting to make that what you really seek pleasurable rather than terrifying.